July 16th. One thing leads to another. Sitting at a lone desk in an office rented by the federal government, Kerala police officer second grade Shiny Armor let his fingers dance over a laptop keyboard as he finished his latest report. Though the other desks were prepped for use, they were empty at the end of the day. Some faithless government worker bees would gather the gear and desk and would move to the main FBI office at the Kerala Federal Building. Finished his report, he stayed before closing the laptop. So that's that, he thought, looking around the empty room. We've been at this for a few weeks now, and nothing to show for it than a waste of a whole lot of money what seems to be a wild goose chase. Well, here you go. A cup of coffee and a couple of eclairs were set in front of him. A second later, Sandalwood popped into the chair. Shannon, I know what you're thinking. This whole thing is a huge waste of taxpayer funds and all that shit. So he took a sip of the coffee, muttering under her breath, God, this is shit. Looking back at him, she added, Well, you're right, and I still think that Phoebe's around this too. Oh, so then why are we releasing the rest of the task force back to their normal duties? Sonny asked her, If they're so sure about sirens being in the U.S., that we have to write regular reports about what we issue to the CIA, DHS, DOD, and a whole lot of shitload agencies I've never heard before. They haven't been released, Shannon. They've been returned temporarily to train with the, CPD SWAT unit. Hell, ECSD is just starting up a special emergency response team, and they asked me to join once they return, thinking about it. So he took a bite of a donut, and took another drink of her coffee before commenting, But something's going up, and I think we're looking at a war. The kind of thing that usually tears up LA or Chicago, not here. I was talking to Hardline. She was a sniper. Karen sniper, no less. In the Marines, before she joined the FBI, she told me she just started practicing with a rifle again. You were in the Navy, Sandy. Tell me what you really think, Shane told her. What would you like me to say? Or what I really think, Sandy? Sandalwood looked at Shane right in the eyes. I know you don't like buying body armor. She tapped him on the chest. Start. Okay, well, where does this go again? A voice asked Sunset. Table 4, Sonny. Sunset told her, pointing at the table in question. And then the other order goes to table 12, which is one by the window. Sonata sighed. Sorry, boss, still getting used to this. Sunset grinned. Hey, you should have seen me on my first day. I was afraid that half the time I was just going to flip my lid and walk out the door, not never come back. She patted the other girl on the back. You've been here a week, right? Don't worry, you'll get the hang of it. Thanks, Sonny. Well, time to drop this off. Oh, before I forget, are you still on for the movie tonight? Yeah, if you AJ Flares and Rarity don't mind being the driver. Sunset grumbled. My dad says I can't touch my car until I take the driver's license at the end of the month. Looking at her groaned. My aunt and uncle gave me one of their cars for my birthday because they're moving out of the country and I can't touch it. Sonata laughed. You sound like my sisters. I and Dodgy hate cars, which is why they use motorcycles. But whenever we want to go somewhere, it's always, Sonny, can you drive us pretty please? The Asian girl laughed and added, Well, let me get to these tables. Yeah, and when you're there, can you ask Twilight to check with AJ and Rares on the movies? Rares says he could pick me up and Tavi and Twilight. Will do, Sonata said with a smile before going back to her duties. As Sonata headed off, Sunset smiled in appreciation. She was getting used to being a supervisor, and it helped that her first supervisee was friendly. It had just been a week ago that Sonata answered the helpline sign, and during the interview had told Sunset and Mrs. Kink about having moved from Vancouver, Washington, a few weeks ago. She lived with older sisters, two of which were her fellow triplets. While Sonata had tended to be forgetful and clumsy, Sunset suspected there was more to her stick. The guys who came into the cafe tended to lap it up. What Mrs. Kink noticed was that Sonata did have great talent at baking. Apparently she did all the cooking at her place. She was more than capable of a wrench, having fixed one of the ovens so that a call to a repair company didn't need it. Sunset Sonata had hit it off his friends fairly quickly, and a couple of days later, the latter introduced the former to the older triplets, Adagio and Arya. Adagio, the eldest, was bookish but street smart. If anything, she reminded Sunset of a streetwise Octavia. Arya was a tomboy and with a biting sense of humor. like Rainbow, but a bit more swarthy. Otherwards, Sunset introduced the three to her circle of friends, and when they all started school again in the fall, the triplets would be attending CHS. All in all, it was fair to say that the three were on their way to becoming members of the girls' group, and Pinky would have to think of a replacement name for the Eight Amazing Eight. Sonny, could you help me in the kitchen? Cup asked from behind the register. Brick Oven's Pizza Parlor just requested a batch of pizza dough, and I'm going to need some help if we're going to get it done in time. Sure thing, Mrs. Cake. It's slow enough that Sonny can handle it on her own. With that, both went to the kitchens. Meanwhile, Sonata walked up to table 4, first tray at the array. Okay, miss, you had the shrimp salad and the frick cup, right? Then turning to Twilight, she commented, For you, the chicken salad club and fries. Twilight nodded. Thanks, Sonny. No props, Twilight. Also, your sister asked if you could call AT and Rare to see if they could pick up the others tonight. Sure, I could do that later. Thanks. Well, I gotta get this over to the other table, so you two enjoy lunch. Giving them a cute little wave, Sonata left Twilight and her lunch date to themselves, while she went over to take over her other customers. Meanwhile, Twilight picked up a fry. Okay, now that the food's here, Twilight began, would you tell me you wanted to meet me here, Fleur? Honestly, you look rough, and I could have easily met you at your place. Sorry, I haven't been sleeping well the past few days, Fleur began. As to why I suggested here, you know some of the waitresses, right? At least, that's what I get from the one you were talking to. Yeah, but Sonata's new. As to the rest, yeah, they're my friends. And my sister's the head waitress for the cafe. Fleur looked surprised by that. You never mentioned his sister before. Yeah, she goes to ZHS, not Zachary, Twilight clarified. Plus, Sunny's adopted and only been in our life for about a year or so. But I love her as much as if she's been there all my whole life. But anyway, since I'm getting the feeling you need privacy, I can promise you that you'll get it here. Fleur gave Twilight an appreciative glance. You know, there's something about you that's changed over the past year. Not that I think about it. You're a lot more confident than you used to be. Thanks. I think that's due to Sunny. She's been helping me come out of my shell, so to speak. But you were saying? Sorry. In any case, you're aware of how serious my boyfriend and I are, right? We're actually waiting until we start college before he officially pops the question. Congratulations! Twilight chirped. Are you planning on having the wedding once you graduate? Yes, but that's not what this is about, Sunny. Anyway, Lancy and I don't start Harvard for another month, but my parents want to take one final family vacation together before I go away to college. It's apparently important enough that they asked for my brother and his family to join us. We leave for Belgium next week and are spending most of this month and next at my grandmother's place. She took a bite of her salad and then said, This is going to be the last time you see me for a while. So, it's time that you assumed your station, Diva. Fleur reached into her pocket, pulling out an ornate pin to be worn in the breast pocket. Twilight took the pin with all due respect. I know we've discussed this, but I'm really honored you think this highly of me, Fleur. You and Tavi made a real impression on me and Tammy. I know it's not often that a graduating diva doesn't pass the role into another senior, but you two have a maturity and grace that I don't see in the incoming senior class. It's bad enough they're going to tie up the student council. Things could get bad if the diva gets such as well. Well, aren't you supposed to give this and the burgundy jacket to me at the pinning ceremony? Oh, don't worry about that. I'll be flying in from Boston for that weekend, and I already assume with the Falcony, Fleur explained. But I'm giving you the daily pin because I want you to assume your duties earlier. Because I need your help. Of course I help, Fleur. We're friends, and friends help each other. Fleur ran a hair for saffron pink and ice pink hair, sighing in relief. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. She paused for a break, then continued. My family and Fancies have known each other ever since my mother moved from Brussels to attend here. For some reason, a lot of French speakers tend to attend Canterlot State or Shasta University. Anyway, you could say that I was married to his family from the moment my mother, Fleur de Blanc, met Fancies. But to skip the whole story, we're intertwined. Fancy looks up to my older brother, Linda Pays, is like an older brother to him. Likewise, Fancy's little sister, Coco Pomel, has practically been my child since she was born. She certainly loves me like a sister, and she means the world to me. Sounds nice, Twilight said. But if that's the case, I don't really see the problem. Fleur's face took on a haunted cast as he said, Zuri put him there. That bitch has been courting Coco, and you know Zuri's never up to good. Twilight flinched. She heard all the rumors. That Zuri's boyfriend, Blue Blood, had been behind the whole Five incident that roiled the area a few months back, whose drug, courtesy of Sunny's ex-boyfriend Flash, had cost her so much. And even more had Sunny not come to the literal rescue. Flash was apparently Blue Blood's cousin, who was Zuri's boyfriend, and when those links were connected, it filled Twilight with dread. Admittedly, both boys were proven in a court of law to have been framed by teens who were now serving time. Zuri was never expected to think, but Twilight knew Zuri was a schemer. She was the type of girl that codified the meaning of, if I want it, I get it. It will be to those in my way. Nobody at school rubbed her the wrong way like Zuri Polymere, and her partner in crime, Vanity Fair, did. Tell me more, Twilight told her friend. Fancy and Coco's grandmother is in the hospital, and is expected to live much longer. So Coco's been in somewhat of a mood as of late, when I haven't been able to really help her with. I try to spend as much time as I can with her, but it's never enough, especially since I have to leave soon. Fortunately, Coco's got a best friend, named Crackle, who's been there for her all this time. Unfortunately, I found out that Crackle is Zuri's half-sister, and that Zuri and Vanity are sponsoring the girls for a freshman rush. But I know those two are up to something, and I'm ready to back Coco. Do you think Crackle's helping her sister screw over Coco? And why? No, that's the thing. I've met Crackle once, and she's nothing like her sister. So much so that she had not told me, I would have known at all. Crackle doesn't strike me as a sneaking type. If anything, she seems like someone who is easily used. And I am pretty sure that Zuri would have no scruples, even when it comes to her family. The fact that she handed Crackle over to Vanity means she doesn't want her harmed in whatever schemes she has. As soon as she wants Coco home, I've brought so many of Zuri's set of plans, as long as that she still manages to use her family connections to cover her ass. But now that I graduated, Zuri wants to send me one last message to Zacy Wulon to make it clear I can no longer stop her, and the easiest way to get through me is through Coco. Fleur looked at Twilight. The latter saw some unending sorrow in the former's purple eyes. Something that made it clear she was meant every word of her fear. And given that Blue Blood has ties to Zuri, I truly fear for Coco. For Twilight, there was no question. Sunny stood up for me because she loves me, but she also did it because it was the right thing to do. I hadn't met Coco Palmel before, but helping her is the right thing to do, especially if we give Fleur a peace of mind. I'll do it, Twilight assured her. Vanity brushed her hair over her eyes as she looked over to Zuri. So, let's go over the plan again. You know your sister cares a lot about Coco, right? Zuri took a drink from her glass of wine. And because I think that little dyke is trying to seduce my sister. Zuri snarled. Look, I know my little sister. She's as straight as she comes, and she doesn't need some little carpet monster trying to weasel her way into Crackle's life. Aren't you bi, though? Vanity asked. That's different, Zuri said haughtily. It was just physical between my last girlfriend and I, and it was mutual attraction, not some gold digger trying to work her way to polite society. Plus, it was before I met Blue Blood. I genuinely love him, my control over him notwithstanding, and I have no intention of leaving him. A grin came across her face as she admitted, Doesn't mean that I can't have fun now and then, right? Yes, but you're talking about your boyfriend seducing your little sister's absolutely best friend. That takes her out of Crackle's orbit into yours. I'm a little more capable of controlling her that way, Zuri pointed out. After she takes out, if she still wants to be Crackle's friend, I'll consider it. Hopefully that won't be the case with what you have lined up. What have you researched? Vanity reached into her purse and handed Zuri a flash key. I've looked into 6 girls that are part of the freshman group. All of them have good breeding and come from well-heeled families in the area. One of them is also a lesbian. Shigeru's sister decided that way. Another of them has a brother, a sophomore attending Mochigaiser. He would make a good match for her if she moves in that direction. Suri plugged the flash key into her adapter on her tablet. Yes, you're referring to Paul's crystal, correct? Yes. Her older brother, Dapper Charm, is a charming young man. Oh, I know. They have an older brother, Debonair style. I dare say that had I not bled blue blood, I've Debonair wrapped firmly around my little finger. She commented. Actually, you may be interested in him yourself. He's into girls that are fun-loving, so to speak. You mean girls that are the threesomes? Fancy drawled. Not my smile. I want to find a husband, get in between his legs, and firmly control him and his assets. Not any complications, like mistresses or anyone that might present a challenge for me. Suri took a drink of her wine. What is life without a challenge, Vanity? And believe me, I don't accept any challenge unless I'm completely assured that not only will I succeed, I will dominate. Crackle focused her attention on Coco. The two were having lunch at Takopia in downtown Everglades and had spent some time shopping. An embarrassing point came when Coco's credit card had failed. It had not been due to lack of money, but rather the card system had gone down completely. Crackle, without cash on her, was consigned to have put the items on back. But fortunately, Coco, who preferred to pay with cash than to use the card her parents gave her, lent her the money. When the system came up 10 minutes later, Coco immediately returned alone, as well as insisting on buying her friend lunch. Since Takopia was relatively a new place, the two opted to go there, and everything between the two friends had been bright and cheerful. Crackle talked about a guy who was going to attend Mugenheiger and caught her eye, while Coco admitted there wasn't anything she wanted to date at the moment. She wanted to wait until the first inter-school dance to see how many guys whose eyes she'd catch. Then Coco's cell phone rang, and she dutifully answered it, apologizing that it was her father. A smile fell from Coco's face as the call continued. And about 10 minutes later, as their meals arrived, Coco hung up and looked like her world just shattered. Your grandmother again, Crackle asked gently. Coco wordlessly nodded. Dad just called. The doctor told him there's no hope. It's only a matter of time. She looked up, her eyes started to well with tears. Why is everyone I love leaving me? Nana's dying, Fancy and Flora leaving. Many of our friends have even moved away. I'm not going anywhere, Coco. We're best friends, and you know you're always going to mean the world to me. Thanks, Coco replied, wiping the tears from her eyes. Thanks, Crackle. You're the best friend a girl could ever have. And don't you forget it, Crackle said with a wink. Besides, you can't really blame Heather Rose and Dazzly Smile for having to move. Heather's parents are divorcing, and she's going to live with her mom in Maine. Her life's going to be rough as it is. And her Dazzy's family's moving to Miami. She's lucky as hell. Besides, I'll miss them too, and so they miss us. Yeah, I guess. While he change the subject, Coco asked, how's things going with Fanty? It's been interesting. A lot of shopping and bonding. I'm sure that Shuri paired me with her best friend. Fanty's sweet and sure not to get me in trouble, which is probably what I really do not want. I don't think embarrassing my dad would probably be a good idea. How about you with Shuri? It's been okay, Coco began, not sure what else to say. Sir, other than being somewhat forward, Shuri had been well behaved. Plus the other girl had introduced her to her boyfriend, and while Blue Blood was a gentleman, there was something predatory about him, something that set her on edge. Though at the same time, there was something alluring about him. When she was in the presence of both of them, she started to have feelings that she sure wasn't supposed to have. Failing might not take well. Coco, is something wrong? Crackle asked. She looked more concerned now before the burning, ballsy taco in her hand. No, I mean, I appreciate you setting me up with her, Coco exclaimed. It's just, look, She brought free for spite by taking a bite of her enchilada. Nana's health troubles are still bugging me, that's all. Your sister's nice, and I met her boyfriend, too, Crackle nodded. Yeah, Blue Blood's a sweetheart. She's like the big brother I never had, and he's always there when I need him. I know he and my brother don't get along, Coco confided, but I guess that's a guy thing. They're different people, then they just don't need match. I guess that happens. Yeah, I guess it does, Crackle agreed. Thanks for the birthday presents, Twilight, says it on her phone. I didn't know what really to get you, so I hope the stationery will do some good, came the reply. Sorry, I'm really bad when it comes to choosing everybody's birthday gifts, even the human ones. Well, I appreciate it. After she returned home from the movies, Sunset realized she hadn't been in contact with Equestria since the week of her return from her little adventure. Deciding to rectify that, she waited until Twilight, her sister, was asleep. Octavia was paying the monthly bill, and as such, decided she wanted to sleep alone. So she was in bed in Twilight's room. Once she assured Twilight was asleep, the flame-haired girl immediately cast a sleeping spell on her plum-haired sibling, and threw out silencing and warning spells on the room. This would prevent anyone from wandering in. With that, she was cleared to talk to Twilight, the Alicorn Princess, and dialed the cell phone she sent to her friend. The others have gifts for you as well, but I'll have to wait until we have extended time to send them. I'm guessing you're pushing your luck right now? Well, I've worried the room, but Twilight's asleep on my bed right now. So yeah, waiting might be better. Oh, and Celestia says she's gonna hold on to your present until she sees you again. She told me she wants to see the surprise on your face. But personally, I think it's a way of saying she wants to see you again. Mother's prerogative, I guess, Sunset laughed. This word made Twilight wondered. I thought Twilight Velvet was your mother, the Alicorn voiced before she added. Mare, that's so weird that your mother has the same name as mine. Well, they are essentially the same person, Twi, Sunset pointed out. Besides, while Celestia will always be a mother to me, as you said, Twilight Velvet's my mom. Sorry this sounds corny, but I could practically hear the love in your voice when you say that. I think it's sweet. Sunset blushed and was glad that Princess Twilight couldn't see her at the moment. Thank God for not using video chat. So how is your sister doing? I'm guessing she's okay now? Yeah, thanks for asking. She still thinks it was residue from that attack back in January. I'm not really going to correct her or anyone else in my family. You really should, you know. You're our ambassador to Earth. That means you need to take extra precautions, Sonny. Better get out of the way and let your family know what you really are, right? Easy for you to say, Sunset sighed. My family just got used to me being a normal girl, and not the problem child that Miss Celestia said I was for so long. And you want me to tell them I'm not even human? Sure you are. You are say it yourself. You're as human now as you are a pony. And they really love you, Sonny? They won't worry or fret that you weren't born like other girls. I'm sure of it. I'll think about it, Twi. The indicator was clear that Sunset most definitely didn't want to think about it, but she wasn't about to tell her friend that. Princess Twilight knew changing the subject was probably better for the moment, so she did. Anyway, now that your sister, she goes by Twilight, right, is back to normal, tell me more about her. I'm interested. It's probably weird seeing, well, me every day. Sunset silently thanked her friend for discretion and cheerfully answered, Nah, not really. 'Cause you two are as different as night and day. I got both of you standing next to each other and I could tell the difference. Really? Yeah, for one. I don't know about you, but Twilight's got a lot more affection with friends and family. At least since I've known her. It's probably your influence, Sonny. I'm working on it, but a lot of ponies still say I could still be standoffish from time to time. Also, while you're both analytical and smart, you've mastered different disciplines. Sunset continued. You're the princess of friendship and the element of magic. And probably the only ones who can keep up with you are me, maybe Raz, Luna, and Celestia. Not really. When it comes to normal magic disciplines, Raz isn't really good at them. They have to be truly alignment neutral for her to get them. As for Celestia and Luna, both have said I've outdone them in skill ages ago. They're only stronger in power because they're older. Not trying to brag, but I well outstood Cadance even when I was just a unicorn. Well, to continue, Twilight would have already been in college already if her parents decided they didn't want a super brain freak for a kid. And no, that's not an insult. It's not normal for kids to be in college. The Rentals wanted to make sure Twilight had a normal life. In any case, he pretty much masters anything she comes across. And I guess she'll probably have several doctorates in vastly different fields before she hits 30. Sounds like someone I would really like to know. I'm sure you two would get along great, Sunset said fondly as he sat down next to her sister, gently stroking her shoulder. You're a great friend, and my sister's wonderful to know. You two would absolutely be thick as thieves. Wait, burglars are overweight on Earth? It's a figure of speech, Twi. Don't worry, I didn't get it at first either. I'll have to remember that. Anyway, I need to get to sleep. We're having a ceremony tomorrow. We decided to officially designate Raz our first Grand Mage of Dark Magic. Really? Commented Sunset. It was something Raspberry Barrel deserved, but the former unicorn could easily see the amount of panic and the nobility that such a decision would cause. Well, yeah, now that I'm a princess, I have to be more politically involved, which means less time for adventuring, and you're obviously a little tied up in being, well, in another dimension. So, we need another Grand Mage to fill the gap. I suggested it to Celestia and she agreed. What says princesses can't adventure? Plus, it gets rid of all those stupid sentencing rules that she was pretty much forced to impose on Raz. By making her job, Raz can leave town whenever she needs to, because it's part of her duties. And really, with the way things are nowadays, it wouldn't hurt to have some extra defenses in case some giant wonky disaster decides to trash the countryside again. Makes sense. Well, I need to get some sleep as well, so I'm going to call it a night. Say hi to everybody and congratulate Raz for me. Give Celestia my love the next time you see her. Sure thing, will do. Good night. Night, Twi. Sunset says she hung up. And plugged her phone into her charger cable. She then deactivated the magic component of the Dragonfire candle. As he did, the flame changed from green to orange, turning into a normal candle, giving off a sweet pine scent. Finally, she banished the warning and silence spells. Went over and shook Twilight gently. Twilight, sis, wake up. Gently, the sleeping beauty stirred, opening her purple eyes to gaze at her sibling. Hey, what's up? Well, if you're going to sleep, you might want to get ready, Sunset advised as she started taking off her shirt. I lent you some sleepwear, but the rest of mine are in the laundry. Sorry. That's okay. Twilight murmured as she sat up, rubbing her eyes. Hey, Sonny, who are you on the phone with? Sunset fought to keep the shock from her face or show any outward reaction to the sense as she felt that. She heard that? But there was a mid-grade sleeping spell I cast on her, so you shouldn't be able to sense anything. Quickly taking an excuse, he commented, Oh, Trixie called. She just wanted to finish her show in Atlanta. She wanted to know if you wanted anything from here. That was currently true enough. Trixie's Uncle Presto, on Star Swirl, and Grandfather Alakazam were touring the country this summer as the Amazing Lilamoons, and Trixie decided to tour with them for the month of July. She said she'll call back in a couple of days. Oh, where's she at? Atlanta, if I recall correctly. She was tired, so she's house luring. Makes sense. Yeah, well, I need to get some sleep. Last day of summer school tomorrow. That means finals. So unless you're going to sleep with Tavi... No, thank you. She considers sleep during that time of the month. Twilight commented as she scrunched her face in disgust. She started stripping off her clothing, crawled under the sheets. Too lazy to get into my PJs. She yawned. Twilight? You're not wearing a bra. Sunset commented. So? It's not like I haven't seen yours. Hell, saw them on the first day. Besides, she said while decided to sound a little too creepy. I was going to have some girl take advantage of me. I'd rather it be you. She bit her lip and brought her hand to her face. Please, be gentle. What? Twilight suddenly started laughing riotously as to watching the floor face Sunset had reached for the light switch. You actually believe that? Twilight, you do realize it would be easier for me to sleep if I just strangle you to death? You'd be quiet then. Sunset mocked grumbled as he crawled to bed. Besides, my tits are bigger than yours, so there. She stuck her tongue out. Do that again, and I'll Fritz kiss it back in your mouth, Twilight Mark threatened. Oh dear, turn my little sister into an incest nympho. Whatever shall I do, other than waking up Tavi for a threesome? Nope, Twilight said, wrapping her arms around her sister. I get you first. After all, it's better when sisters are together, right? Sunset face-palmed. Hoisted by my own petard, I see. Yeah, I've been waiting a while to use that on you. Twilight reached over, kissed her sister on the cheek, then snuggled closer. But honestly, you're rubbing off on me, sis. And I think that maybe I needed that. Tavi's helped me a lot with getting out of my shell, but you actually got me out of it. And I can't thank you enough, Sonny. No thanks necessary. That's what family's for. Sunset says she turned to her side to get some sleep. Turning her own side, Twilight yawned and commented, Get some sleep, Sonny. Big day for you tomorrow. Yeah, Sunset admitted softly. That it is. Audie, what are you still doing up? Madrigal asked. She'd been up looking at the latest intelligence reports, and finally a few of her own. News was becoming clear that Camelot was more and more likely to be the place where things went down, so it makes them the advance team. With that in mind, they had to start making preps and the event schedule accelerated. I can't sleep, Arya says he wandered over to the kitchen. There's some coffee if you want it. Also bought some sleeping tea as well. Thanks, Arya said, opening the cupboard, pulling out the tea box, then throwing a packet in before grabbing the teapot. Do you have time to talk? As Asuya, your superior officer, or one woman to another? Arya asked as he sat down in a chair next to the older woman. Arya, there's no shame in deciding this life isn't for you. Madrigal began as though she knew what Arya wanted to talk about. In fact, you want my honest opinion, Vesper probably wants you out of this as much as I want Sunny to walk away. No, we already agreed. It's either all three of us or it's none of us. We don't want to be split, Arya explained. But I want to know if I want to push for leaving or not. I mean, part of me wants to be a siren. Uncle Poutine was a father to us all. What those bastards did to him, I want to commit mass murder if it means avenging him. We're not murderers, we're sailors. Warriors of the sea, Madrigal said calmly but firmly. I know that. I meant metamorphically. But regardless, that part of me wants to see this through to the bitter end. And then there's the life we've been leading the past few. Dazzy's been happy working at that replacement pizza place he works for. Jazzy Rabbits or something? And I know she and Tavi are becoming good friends. Sunny enjoys working at that cafe she got hired at. And she and Sunny are clicking. And I like my job at the YMCA, and I enjoy working out with HG and Rainbow. Their friends are becoming ours, and we're becoming part of their group. Arya looked up at Madrigal and said, Personally, that frightens me. How so? We're inserting ourselves into their social groups as a sign, but is it for the mission, or because we've been lonely? Are they really just my friends, or just human assets? How can I look them in the eye every day, knowing that I'm lying to them? Those are the questions I constantly ask myself. And while I don't know if Dazzy or Sunny are, I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't think they are. Especially Sunny. You know how she can be. Yes, I do. Madrigal looked at the house and said, If you guys decide to leave, this house is yours. We deposited several million in several accounts around the U.S. you can access. You'll never want for anything, and you'll be able to choose whatever you want for your future, as long as you don't betray the sisterhood. I would never do that. I know they wouldn't either, except, is it leaving a betrayal on its own? Are we turning our backs on everything we've been taught? I know what you said, keep saying, and I know that what Vesper and Mezzo told us as well, but I wonder, who am I? Am I seaman recruit Arya Blaze, or just Arya Blaze? Am I a teenage warrior, or just a normal girl with normal dreams and an abnormal life? Do I want to die for queen and country on a battlefield somewhere? Well, before all this began, grow old with a husband, grandkids, the works. Nobody can see the future, Ari. Could very well that you make the choice, or that we may all be dead by this time next month. The world can end, or we could be like scars. Nobody knows. So we continue our paths. Maddie gave the younger girl a smile. I trust you'll make the right decision in the end. Though only you'll know what that really is. I suppose. Arya finished off her tea and got up. Thanks for the tea, Maddie. It's what I'm here for. See, Officer and Sewer. You both do great, Maddie. The middle triplet got up, put her cup in the sink, and headed for the stairs. But she stopped, without looking at Madrigal, and asked, If there are no restrictions, me or the other girls would have taken you three long ago. Maybe settled in Kansas, Alberta, or somewhere similar. Somewhere we can all have the lives we want. The lives you deserve. Maybe, maybe not, Arya said. That's for the future to decide. Good night, Maddie. The following morning, Twilight called Rarity. No, I don't need to work today, dear. Not exactly. Twilight, dear, but I had planned to put in some working time in my designs today. Is there a reason for your call? I'll make it simple, Rarity. I need your help and advice. Well, of course, I'm always willing to lend a hand. What can I do for you? If you could pick me up in 30, let's talk about it over breakfast. It's on me, okay? Well, if you put it that way, of course. I'll be there in 30 minutes then. Ta-ta! Rarity hung up on the hair line, leaving Twilight to head over to the room to wake Octavia up. Hey, Sleepy, wake up. Ready to be here in 30. Do I have to wake up? Octavia mumbled. I'm so all over, my breasts hurt. Sorry, Taffy, this is important. I need your help. It's a diva thing. Octavia sat up. Wait. Fleur already handed the position to you? She's leaving for Europe this afternoon, so she needed to. And she has someone dear to her who might be in trouble. Twilight looked at her, cause his blurry eyes before saying, Suri's involved, and maybe she's using the vibe. What? The sheets on the bed turned into a geyser of fabric as Octavia looked off the bed, pushing aside her pain. What the hell? Yes, we had to do something, and we had to do it immediately. I'm having Rarity meet us here. Then we're going to Casa Piante for breakfast. You know I'm not into music and food for breakfast, Twiny. You might not be, but Tammy, who's going to help us, is. Plus, he might make you a diva as well. I'll probably need some big help. This is big, isn't it? He's as important to Fleur as you are to me, Twilight said with a smile. But I haven't been important to you since that bitch came into our lives. A voice in the back of Octavia's growled. Whatever, she ignored it and said, Okay, if it's not important, let me go hit the shower and I'll go get ready. Are you sure? Crackle said, speaking to her sister on her phone. I mean, Coco and I have been planning to go have a picnic in the park for a while. Dear little sister, I wouldn't ask this if it wasn't important. I know how dear she is to you. Suri said on the other end. Well, there are some girls I want her to meet. Ones you already know, that could be advantageous to her future. And since you've been through this tedium before. Yeah, I know, Crackle groaned, twirling a strand of her unbraided violet hair. You sure you don't need my help? Quite, dear sister. Do you remember when I took you last September? I recall you were bored beyond comparison, especially when that one girl, Suri said, prattled on for hours about types of herringbone china. Oh, don't remind me. Don't worry. As soon as we're done, I'll have Blue Blood drop you off. I have another appointment today, and if you like, he could take you both to the movies. That'll be great, thanks! Be sure to thank him, dear. He suggested it. I suspect he wants time to spend with my adorable little sister instead of me. Sorry, Fox sighed. Don't worry, I'll give him back. I'll talk to you later. Thanks again. Think nothing of my dear little sister of mine. Bye. Suri hit the disconnect button on her phone, then set in the charging cradle by the bed. Looking at her blue blood, she asked, Are you ready, dear? Well, of course. I'm always ready, my love. He told her with the look of a wolf in his eyes and a smile on his face. Yes, but if I get so much as a drop of that hard drug in my system, I will break you. She said with an inky loving smile and a viper's glare. Wouldn't think of it, he said, getting out of bed. So when does our entertainment arrive? Around 9 or so. Do you remember the plan? As it were part of me, dearest Shirley. We chat breezily about things, and at noon we have lunch, and we start administering the doses. You start putting on the charm at about 3, and I call your sister and say the plans have to change, and by 4, I should have myself a little diversion. So as long as you don't forget about me. I could never forget about you, love, Blue Blood replied, completing the kiss. However, his words muttered exactly what he meant by that. Yes! Lyra said. No more summer school! Oh, fuck yeah! Rainbow agreed, pumping her fist in the air. We get to enjoy a month and a half of summer vacation. Oh, fucking great! She looked at Lyra and Sunset and asked, Hey, wanna grab some lunch? It's on me. Thanks, Rainbow, Lyra said. Yeah, much appreciated, Sunset agreed. Best part is, I don't have to work today. Sunny says that she's got everything handled, and I can rest easy. Yeah, I can imagine. How's things working out anyway? She's a trip, let me tell you too, Sunset explained. Sometimes she seems to be a complete space cadet. Then I catch her on a break reading Sun Tzu or a book on Desert Fox. She's really into military literature for some reason. Then she's a great cook and baker. She knows how to fix things. And then when I'm thinking she's some sort of super brain, she makes this sort of off-the-wall comment I usually associate with you, Lyra. Oh, gee, thanks, Lyra deadpan. Seriously, though, she's a good friend, and I'm glad to know her. Yeah, I'll say. And her sister, Ari, she's awesome. She's in a lot of different martial arts styles. She's been sparring with me, AJ, and Bonnie regularly. Just when we think she's got her number, she switches styles and completely one-ups us. She's good. Damn good. Even AJ's impressed. Yeah, then there's Dazzy, Sunset began. Smart as a whip, and gets along with Tavi and Twiley. Plays a lot of chess by phone with them. Too bad he can't go to Zachary with them. I'm sure she'd do well there. Well, sounds like those three are made for Disney Channel perfect, Lyra observed. Maybe, Rainbow replied. That's not a bad thing, is it? Don't know, but my guess is that people who are that good in life, it's my thought that anyone that perfect, they have something to hide. Not saying that's the case with them, but they are, but... Don't worry about it, Sonny. Probably my imagination working overtime, Lyra said with a grin. Anyway, where do we want to go? I'm starved. Divine Right held the phone in his hand as if in thought. He sat on the sofa in his mansion, thinking about what his next move would be. Clearly, Canterlot would be where it all began, but even that still meant he had to make plans. If things were to go his way, he would have to control every variable and avenue for change. Nothing could be left to chance. There could be no margin for error. Your Highness. A servant sounded a soothing British accented French as he came into the room, carrying a packet. Wary, Piano set down her book and withdrew a small pistol concealed in her clothing. She took her duties to protect him as fiercely as he was smitten with him. Define noted. Too bad that'll end soon. Easy, my dear, he told her, then looking at his butler, stiff posture, asked, Is that the packets I purchased? Yes, my prince, the man said, bowing, proffering the box. Elegantly carved oaken box with inlays of red and yellow gold. The representative from the auction house in London brought by all certificates and such. As requested, we inspected the packets and the matches. Good. Frankly, I care not a damn about the certificates, and its authenticity speaks for itself. Taking the box in his hands, Divine opened the case and looking within. There, nestled on a priceless silk cushion, was a silvery blade. Though polished to perfection, Legend had it had not seen a day of burnishing, for it had never needed it. The handle was made of 3 colors of wrapped gold, leading to a hilt that had stars and swirls embedded on it. Finally, the leaf-shaped blade had writing on it that had yet to be deciphered to this day. Its cryptic message is as unreadable as the Vonyuk manuscript or the Aaronic Codex. Though dagger-side, it seemed to be proportioned as though it was meant to be wielded as a sword. Not a sword, but a primary blade. Reaching into the case, he pulled it out, taking it into his palm. Yes, the legendary Sword of Balance. Though not mentioned as often in the stories that make up the matter of Britain, the sword was mentioned in the matter of France, a blade made of pure magic, repeatedly carried to these shores by Sworld the Bearded, a distant counterpart to Britain's own Merlin. The blade had been in the hands of a German collector, a descendant of the Kaiser, who had met a sudden and untimely accident. It had been mere child's play for Divine to have someone convinced the man's widow to put the blade up for auction. Likewise, a considerable amount of veiled threats and bribes asserted he was now the sole owner. The sword would be part of the key, just as the gift would be, as the tent would be. The trio would give him unimaginable power, make him nigh unstoppable, and would return him to the throne, not only of France, but the whole world. A king, and I will have a proper queen if she accepts, he said, looking briefly at Piano. You poor love-struck child, you have no idea what's in store for you. But Divine Right, soon to be absolute ruler of everything, certainly knew. After all, it was his divine right, as it was always meant to be.